Hello! Our guild was clearing heroic again this week, and we killed one-armed bandit for the second time. And it did take a few pulls, but I recorded the kill, and I thought I'd go back over with some commentary, kind of show what I'm doing as a frost mage to get some good, the best DPS I can get out of this fight. We're using a pretty standard Frostfire build for single target. I do like Ray of Frost, and we're running Slick Ice. You could actually put that point into Splintering Cold too, and probably doesn't change much. The Frostfire hero tree is pretty standard, and of course we're in a single target raid spec, so we don't need Spell Steal or Remove Curse. We can put all our utility points into more protective stuff. I do like Diverted Energy a lot, so I know a lot of times people put points into Tempest Barrier, which is okay, but if you look at the end of a fight, if you're proactive about getting your barriers up, you'll get a lot of value out of that. Alright, on to the fight. What I like to do is I do Mass Barrier pre-pull, then about 3 seconds in, I'll hit Mirror Image and start in on Frostfire Bolt cast. At the end of that, I'll hit Icy Veins, stack up some Death Chill, flip that Comet Storm, pump a Glacial, and hit Ray of Frost. And then for this point, you're just stacking up Icicle as quick as you can, get those Glacial Spikes out. Now in this fight, of course, you want to get next to those coin rolls, because that's a 10% damage buff, and it's a movement buff, which is cool, but it does make it a little tricky, because during this entire fight we're going to want to scoot next to those coin rolls, and you're moving a little faster than you normally are, so just be aware of that.
There you go. You managed to line them up there.
I think I was a few seconds late on getting Shifting Power going, but that is something that we want to do on cooldown so we get our Icy Veins back up.
Not very much more, but
There's Winter's Chill up with full stacks and Ray of Frost, so I'll always fire off the Glacial and then follow with Ray of Frost.
okay, new ads are on the way. Coin and lightning.
Do believe if you sim it out, you don't necessarily have to wait anymore for that Winter's Chill to be up, so you get that for your Glacial, but I like to do that because that's kind of muscle memory from Dragonflight, I guess.
Do it. This is the pull.
So I got Icy Veins back up. And of course, Ray of Frost benefits from Cryopathy, which either you need to stack up that with casting Frostfire Bolt, or when you pop Icy Veins, you'll have full stack, so that's always an opportune time to pop Ray of Frost is after you pop Icy Veins. And of course, make sure on Ray of Frost you've got a Winter's Chill debuff up. You lose a lot of value if that one's not critting. Glacial Spike I can see firing off without Winter's Chill, though I do tend to fish with 1 or 2 Frostfire Bolts first to see if I'll get a Flurry up. We get a lot of flurries, so you usually don't have as many dry spells as I've seen in previous expansions.
Got it. This isn't the one we failed. Next is Timmy.
On this fight, we do need to take down those 3 ads that pop up so that we can get the coins into the boss. Frost has very strong cleave, so normally if the tanks can move the mobs, the boss over close to the mobs, I won't tab over. But if the mobs are sitting for any length of time, which they were, this is like the 5th or 6th pull, and we weren't getting all the ads down in time, then just make sure you don't leave I guess you leave a Winter's Chill on the boss, but pop over those ads and dump some Glacial Spikes in them, like I'm doing right there. make sure that guy goes down. Looks like all the melee ran over to the one on the right, which was the other one we needed. So everything was good. In particular, that mob was standing in one of those pools, so it's a little harder for melee to get. Now there's a great amount of, or good amount of AoE damage going out this entire fight, as well as fires to dodge, which you will not be able to dodge all of them. So keep those barriers up. Be aware of your defensives.
Watch how the circles are coming in. Be careful.
Yes, lightning bomb. Those stairs. Just a little early. Whereas
Once again, we're not getting, I don't see any other DPS on that, or not many DPS on that ad that was on the left, so that's a good time to pitch in on that. Now when you get to that third ad that just needs to get killed, but we don't need to put in the coin, I'll switch back to boss, because Cleve will help take care of that. Now you got all those little ads come out that are chasing people. It's always great to throw down whatever slows or frost novas you got. I don't find that they stay up long enough in heroic to warrant switching to a Cone of Cold type build.
Alright, we'll go see Neil then. You got one. Okay, Neil, you're up.
We're in the final phase here, so it's all burn.
Another buff on. Just for fun.
For fun?
Yeah. Just gotta cool down.
You can see on above my head, I track my splinters, or icicles, I should say. So if you're casting stuff, you can kind of see when you're going to come up with a glacial spike again and plan your flurries and stuff around that.
My house card with speed for...
It's a pretty good fight for Frost because we get a lot of good cleave right on 2 targets, and that boss is very often close to one of the other ads. If you need to, of course, swap over, help nuke down the small ads, make sure you don't miss the coins, because that's a wipe if you do. But otherwise, you can pretty much hang on the boss, count on good cleave, and as I said, you got to keep your eye on where the tank is moving. If the tank has moved that boss close enough to ads for you to be benefiting from that cleave, because we get great 80% that glacial spike hitting that ad, and that's real nice. And like I said, the other thing that I try to do is make sure that I've got Winter's Chill up for that glacial spike to hit into for the bigger crit chance. Like I said, I've seen before a lot of talk, you don't need to hold for that anymore, but I do, and it seems to work out okay. I think you probably could just launch glacial spikes too as they come up and be about the same too, because it works out over a fight because you get more glacial spikes out. But anyway, that's what I did on that kill. Maybe there's some tips Frost Mages that are working on this fight might pick up from that. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next one.